Hey, what's up, guys? Johnny Con here, aka Not Such a Conqueror. Today, I kind of wanted to reply, well, actually, talk about. This was a suggestion about a suggestion that I made to Venus in Aries. What prompted it was I saw one of her videos on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel, Venus in Aries, where she talked about channeling or doing a tarot reading on Kunta Kinte from the Roots movie. Now, I do believe the character was loosely based on an actual historical person. Um, so I found that very interesting. You know what Kunta was feeling. You know, when he was enslaved and what went through his mind. You know, and his hopes. It's a sad story. You know, and I was wondering if she could do something similar for my ancestors. You know, one thing is I feel kind of like um, a lot. I believe us as Hispanics don't really look into our culture that much. Um, you know, we really don't think about our ancestors. And I was wondering if she could do me the favor and look into our ancestry or the Aztecs in particular. You know, she did a tarot reading on the Aztecs. And I asked her a couple of questions. I asked her, can you please ask them if the Aztecs have any advice for us? Um, how did they feel about the Aztecs converting to Catholicism? Not that they really didn't have much choice, you know, but I wanted to find out these things. One thing that she picked on that was very interesting was just people kept on like seeing Moctezuma's behavior as being kind of like, you know, what's going on here, you know, like and it's true. Even up to this day, you know, it was his own people that killed him. You know, I guess just people felt that he was brown nosing too much to the Spaniards, and that's, you know, what eventually got us conquered. You know, um, what she got, you know, because I asked, how do they feel about Catholicism, and basically our ancestors think that we're not fighting enough for what's ours. We're to go with the flow, you know. We do not fight for our land. We do not fight for our future. We do not fight for our children, you know. And it's not meant to piss you off, but you know, if Mexicans think, you know, excuse me, you know, or me, you know, if we think we have a lot of bravado, where is it? You know, they feel like we're not standing up for ourselves. And then I asked, how do they feel about Catholicism? What state is Mexico in right now? You know, basically they're like, where has that gotten you? You know, me personally, I think it keeps a man, you know, it keeps us, it's what she confirmed it. It keeps us poor. You know, it keeps us poor. It keeps us impotent. You know, we turn the other cheek when we really should, you know, stand up for ourselves. So I'm very thankful that she did this reading for us. What else? Oh, one thing that was interesting, she said that when civilizations start sacrificing children, that's kind of like when they fucked up already, you know. So that was interesting. Um, but yeah, you know, we were a strong culture, and I was very curious about it, you know, because I feel like we don't really look into it enough, you know. Here we are on April 20th, Easter. You know, a lot of my people, you know, crying over a guy that died 2,000 years ago. You know, we feel a lot of my people feel in touch with him. Yet, you know, our ancestors that died 500 years ago, executed, you know, enslaved. Well, not really, you know, but executed, conquered. You know, nothing. You know, I don't know. You know, I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, Venus and Aries, you know, thank you very much, sincerely, for your video. It was very interesting. You know, I kind of want my people to do that as well. You know, I want us to get in touch with our ancestors. What prompted me to kind of like really take my ancestors seriously was I had a dream a while back. And it's the second time that I've had somebody in a dream look at me intently with intense eyes, so intense that it sent shivers down my spine. You know, I had a dream that a man picked up a skull and set it on top of his head. Excuse me, set it on top of his head, and it turned into like an Aztec or a Mayan, and he looked at me very fiercely, and it sent chills down my spine. You know. So, anyways, I just wanted to share that information with you. I'm gonna put the link to Venus and Aries video down in the description box. All right. Once again, thank you very much, guys. All right. Peace.